Hey guys, welcome back to the Glow Up Podcast. So today I want to talk a little bit about my experience with going to new rooms and conferences or whatnot. So I'm going to share. When I first started going to conferences, I was so intimidated, y'all. And I knew that the Lord was ushering me into being into these rooms because when He is calling you into a new season, into a new place. He wants you to be around people who are already there so you can see that it's possible, right? And so I want to say this was maybe about 2 years ago. I was on Clubhouse and Lord had brought me to Clubhouse. And so he's like, get on Clubhouse. So I was on Clubhouse. I was like, oh, I'm on Clubhouse. And it was a room full of older women, and they were talking about their journey to entrepreneurship, and they were expressing, how God had brought them through their journey and how successful they've been, and they've been in business for years, right? And so I wanted to go to this conference, and I was praying like, Lord, I know you want me to be in this room. Um, but I was like, I can't afford it. I think the tickets was like $5,000, and then I would have to pay for the flights and pay for all the other stuff. And so I was like, Lord, how am I going to go to this conference? I know you want me to go. And so I think it was like maybe, and I would get in this room every week. I think they had their meetings like every Monday or Tuesday, and I would get in and I would listen to these women, and I would get so super inspired by them. And I was like, Lord, I need to be in this room. So I prayed. I was like, Lord, get me in this room. And so the organizer was having like a contest or something on her Instagram, and she was saying that she was giving away free tickets. And I happened to enter into the contest, and I was like, I happened to just enter into the contest, and she picked me, y'all. She picked me to go to the conference. I got a free ticket. I was like, all right, Lord, like I knew that I was supposed to be in that room. And so I got my ticket. And this is the first time that I've ever like traveled anywhere by myself, where I was in a whole different state by myself, airport, all that. I'm usually with my husband or my family, but this time I actually went by myself. And really, really great experience. I took my skincare products. I had the courage to go in and meet the organizer and gave her my kit, and was just thankful to be a part of that room. But y'all, when I was in that room, it was amazing. Like there were all of these women were established women. They've had businesses for some time. They were millionaires. But the one thing that really stood out to me was that their love for Jesus. And they were so unapologetically just talking about his, like their journeys with him. And I love that. And they were not like scared to talk about it. And I think the conference wasn't like a religious conference or anything like that. So they did have sponsors. So they kind of had to they kind of was censored a little bit, but they got up there when they had the chance, they got up there and just bragged on God. And I was like, wow, like I know, Lord, if you can do it for them, you can certainly do it for me. And so then that kind of took me on this journey of going to conferences and being around people who are doing things that I want to do. And so I just started going to these different conferences. So that was the start. And then I had went to one, it wasn't really a conference, it was actually like a millionaires mastermind, where they had all these people who were like in a round table, and they talked about their businesses, they talked about their struggles, and each person will go around the table and give their feedback. So mind you, I'm just starting off in business. I don't know nothing. I can't add no kind of value. So I'm there looking like a deer in the headlights. And I'm literally talking to God in my head, like, why do you have me in this room? And he's like, you're supposed to be in that room. So I'm sitting in this room with these people. They got all together. So they're like real estate people, they've been in business for quite some time. Then you have people who were like me who just kind of started off. But the one thing that stood out was their mindsets. Like they had no limitations in their mind. Like, even though they were struggling in their business and they were talking about things of how they can overcome, and people were, sharing their ideas, it was almost like they're like, I know I can get there, but what do you guys think? And it was like they were all trying to help each other. It wasn't like a competition thing. It wasn't anything like that. So I was like, wow, like once you get on this level, there's no competition. Like people really genuinely want to help each other out. And so they got to me, and so I was embarrassed. I was so embarrassed because the guy came up to me. I introduced myself when I first walked in, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I run a skincare business." And I literally forgot all my pamphlets, and like I just came so unprepared. I was so embarrassed. And so then he asked me a question. He said, "There's so many skincare businesses. What makes you different?" I could not answer the question. I was like, "The price." I was so embarrassed. I was like, I need to come prepared. But then when they got to me, when I was talking about, my struggles in my business, I just was like, I was struggling at the time because I had this skincare business. The Lord told me to do it. I went out on faith. But at the time, He was also telling me to do this YouTube thing. And I just did not understand the correlation between the two. It didn't make any kind of sense to me. So I didn't know what I should focus on. Even though I knew that it was still part of the brand, I just didn't know what area to focus on. So I knew like I had these products that I had to sell and I needed to make money and I wanted to focus on that. But I kept feeling like I was being pulled to do this YouTube thing, right? And so and I shared with them my story, and the advice that they gave me was to do both. Learn what you need to do to sell your products, but then also build your community. And which was brilliant because that's exactly what the Lord was trying to get me to do is, build the community around your brand. And then, the sales will come, but as you build your community, that is what's going to build your audience. That's going to be the people who support you. And that's the advice that they gave me. But at the time, I was like, I'm so confused. Like, I don't, but I was happy just to be in that room because these people have different kind of mindsets and no type of limitations. And it just inspired me to keep going. They all had struggles, they all had hiccups, even at the women's conference in Texas that I was talking about. They talked about their journeys too, all the mistakes and the failures they did and how the lessons that they learned. And, even though they knew God, I mean, it still was a process. They still had to go through some things, and it all ended up working out for their good. But um, they learned something, and so every year I try to go to conferences. To really grow, meet new people, and get out there. And so I really want to encourage you guys, as you're on this glow up journey, as you are, healing and you're getting your confidence, you're stepping out in your gifts, you're doing these things, definitely go to conferences and be in rooms that challenge you, that kind of make you afraid and scared. Just because you just never know. I mean, it first of all, it motivates you because you see something different. You're like exposed to a different lifestyle. And it pushes you to push past that and to strive for that, right? Um, but it's just really good to get around new people and new environments that pour into you as well. And they all know what it's like building a brand. They all know what it's like building a business, so they can definitely help you and be your mentor. So I actually just came back from a conference in Dallas, Texas, and I was meeting with my mentor, y'all. So I'm just gonna plug her out. So Latoya Okia has been my mentor. I found her on YouTube, y'all, and she has been my mentor since 2019. And this lady has helped me. She's like helped change my life. Like I've listened to her podcast. I listened to like all her messages, her sermons, and she has literally helped transform me. And God sends people to help you. He sends mentors. He sends people, and I finally got the opportunity to meet with her in person, and I had the opportunity to tell her how much she's helped me. And she spoke into my life. She actually poured into me and gave me the confirmation that, Lord was telling me. She confirmed it. And it was just so amazing. Like, I'm about to cry. Y'all, I'm about to cry. Like, it's such an amazing experience. And I got a chance to meet other women. We're all at different stages and journeys, but we had the opportunity to just talk and share and pour into one another. Like, no one judged each other. We're all believers, so we all like know what it's like. And so we just all were like pouring into each other and helping each other. No one looked at no one was judging. It was no one being catty. Everybody supported each other. It was just a different type of feeling, y'all. And so, as you're on this journey, I definitely recommend you guys to go to conferences, even if you're not building a business and you just want to just be around greatness, be around people who are, on different levels. It's totally possible. You just have to be around that. You have to see it. You have to see it to believe it, right? And sometimes we feel like we're so far from it when we're not in those rooms. I used to think like 5 years ago, like um I didn't know I was going to have it be in business. I thought, I was going to be in my career. And so I didn't know, and so I don't know where I was going with that, y'all. But anyway, y'all, I'm just gonna say definitely go to conferences, get in the room, challenge yourself, overcome your fears, and just go out there and do it and see, how much you are changed and motivated to keep going and keep doing the things that you want to do. So I'll go ahead and end the episode there, and have a wonderful day. Chat with you soon. All right, bye.